If you would like this to be a kind of a therapy session, we could turn it into that. If you
Stressed,
want,
worried.
Yeah, all those things.
Yeah.
So if you wanted it to be like, how am I feeling? If you want the honest answer to that, this is probably not the forum. But if you want the kind of Facebook Live light Friday evening answer, then I'm feeling excited, ready, and I genuinely am. I suppose when you look back at all of the build-up, I don't know. Maybe people who are watching will tell us in terms of what they think of the course. It was really late last night, and I was in a bit of a whirlwind of other things. And someone sent through the pictures of the course, and I followed a few people who were there, and I'm asking them, and they've all said like really picturesque and really beautiful. But I don't know. You get used to looking at big championship courses, and it doesn't look that big. You can't really tell, I guess, in terms of what some of the combinations look like, or like what the connect, like just from a set of pictures, you can't really tell like necessarily the in-betweens. I remember Sam talking about Tokyo and just feeling really underwhelmed by the course and thinking, this is it. No, obviously I can't ride, but I'm looking at it and I'm thinking it's beautiful, but it's all going to get decided tomorrow.
Yeah. No, I think that it's interesting that a few people have said that they don't think it's going to be as much of a time test that we thought. I think we all thought the time was going to be tight. It was going to be quite a 4-star short kind of track. So it's quite interesting to hear that.
Where did you see that now?
Over the build-up in the last year, I've kind of been fed from different people.
No. Where did you see that it wasn't going to be?
I think last night on Nicole's live, actually, it was Sally who said that they ended up putting in different combinations because they've to try and slow people down a bit. I think because she said I think the time would have been too gettable beforehand.
Oh.
So I think that there was a thought that maybe adding a few more combinations to try and slow them down a bit, because I'm really intrigued to see how it rides, because you're right, you can't really tell too much from pictures. Obviously you can see how beautiful the fences are, but it can be quite deceiving until you're actually stood there as to how they line up and things like that, isn't it?
It's going to be a really important moment for the Olympics as a concept. You think how long we've been building up to it, excited about it, getting ready to like talking about Graffalo against London, against Fisher Chipmunk. Like it's been a year probably. Certainly since the end of last year, it's been what you've been excited about. Now, Tokyo 3-from-3 format was not an exciting cross-country day. It was fine, but it just kind of passed us by. The risk here, and like a lot depends on this, because if you don't get a good Saturday, like we did get in Pratoni, by the way, and we did get at every Olympics back. I mean, London was different because it was 3 counting scores from 5, so the jeopardy was never there because of the scoring system. But Rio was a very tough day, like from the first group of riders out, that was tough. But Rio was an amazing Saturday in terms of the excitement and the cross-country day at the Olympics. Like it felt like, oh my God. Now Tokyo didn't have that. If Paris doesn't have it, it's a little bit tricky for the build-up. Like when you're trying to, like I actually think Aachen 26 is going to be amazing because it's Giuseppe again.
Yeah.
And what Giuseppe did at Pratoni was so special. But the Worlds and the Olympics have a different challenge.
Yeah, I get that feeling. It could be a little bit underwhelming if it doesn't.
Like I hope not. Like I mean,
exactly.
we're in the build-up. Yeah. Like we're about to do the opening ceremony. There's no point in like playing down the cross-country course. But so much of the excitement rests on Sunday with that 3-from-3 jeopardy. If you can make it a time test, that's great, because maybe people have to take a bit of a risk. That'll be fascinating to watch. I'd be really interested to get any people who are there or riders' opinions, like anything we can hear tomorrow about like. Have you walked the cross country course? What you think? Like, I want to be like watching that part of it, being like, watch. Like, how do they actually react? Every rider will always say, "Oh, it's tough out there," but like, look into their eyes and see, Rosie, like, do they mean it, or are they just having to play the game? Either way, then you think, okay, if it's not that big a test Sunday, that makes Saturday big. Like every single moment, like square halt in Bertoni at the end, non-square halt for Fisher Chipmunk, still gets 10s, 10s, 10s. And all of a sudden, I mean, was about to be the world champion until that last fence when Yaz Ingham takes it. Like it'll make Saturday amazing, and it'll make show jumping amazing. And it's kind of sad for the sport in one way that if Sunday cross country day isn't, but it'll still be high jeopardy because they'll all be bunched pretty tightly, those front few, and it'll be about 5 or 6 really good jumpers jumping off against each other. We'll see.
It's exciting. It's like you say, the clash of the titans almost, with everybody coming together. And it's actually the second highest rated championship we've had in a while. I think Bertoni was the highest rated. This is coming in at second highest rated. So it's going to be really exciting. But there's been so many curveballs in the last 24 hours. I can't keep up with it. I think to start with, it was Novia Montemats. I was like, right, okay. So then Julia came in.
That was a huge story.
That was massive, wasn't it?
That was a big night. Yeah, because it was in the wake of all the other stuff and dressage, and the story. You know, it's a story. It was a big story. Julia not getting to go in one sense. An Aachen winner. Sandra had obviously had the problem with Aachen, but Julia was the defending champion, albeit with a different horse. But I think Julia is such an incredible rider, such an incredible ambassador. And for her to have gone through, so Chipmunk to begin with, then Chipmunk turns into, and she gets or has or develops true disappointment, like as in she had real big downs with this horse as well. But Samurai de Toe was, I think, probably one of the best horses that we had in the last 10 years and didn't really get to fulfill that potential. He gets freakily sick that Christmas before Tokyo. Armand comes in, wins the Olympics, but she's on kind of superstar number 3. And then Armand doesn't go, gets injured and then doesn't come here. And now she's here with Nickel. Like those 4 horses, like very few riders have ever done that over 4 horses. Incredible the way she spoke in that press conference at Aachen. The Instagram post the next day after Aachen, where she talked about people keep asking me about, am I disappointed?
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, like she's so kind. She's so good. You want her to do so well. She's number 5 in the prediction center, same place as she was with Amanda Bonneville.
Exciting. Very exciting.
Same place, same position. A little bit less of a percentage win chance, but not too much.
No, I think she stands a great chance. And if she wins it again, Christ, that would be...
No, I mean, she was on the podium. She was, again, with Amanda Bonneville, but she was on the podium at Bertoni, which is what Nicole often talks about as like the big underrated result or the under-the-radar result. That was a great night. The defending champion comes back in to the field. Julia comes back in. Obviously not great for Sandra. But it's the second time, by the way. Rio 2016, the other time, I think, very, very late, almost getting off the flight. Julia and Chipmunk on that occasion got drafted in to the team. You were only a little baby, Rosie, probably.
2016, yeah, I was 16.
Yeah. Second time this has kind of happened, but yeah, great. I think great for the sport, Julia being back in.
Well, another change we had was Will Coleman was no off the record, and then it was Diablo, and now it's no Will Coleman at all, and Liz Halliday's in. That's been a right roller coaster for the US, hasn't it?
I mean, I don't know really where to start with that. That news was breaking this morning or coming through this morning. And like, I actually didn't really know what to do with it. I mean, it's not just Will, but like the whole team and Haley, who, you know, looks after all Will's horses and huge part of the setup. They're a really kind, special group. And again, you think Chintonic would have been in the top couple of favorites coming into the Olympics. if we were doing this in May, just before Tokyo, Gin Tonic was in Kentucky, or at Kentucky, I should say. I think when the news came through that he wasn't going to compete at Kentucky happened, we were about to have Gin Tonic against My Bomb in the 4-star short at Kentucky. Then suddenly neither of them were there, and then suddenly neither of them were at the Olympics. Diablo had a rail down to lose the 4-star short, but was a real standout performer. Boyd won it. Am I the right way around? Or was it Boyd had the rail and Diablo won?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, well, they were both like the standouts, I think, from that. And that felt like, okay, he's lost Gin Tonic, but the other ones come in. And then he has in his pocket the Aachen winner in off the record, who's put up those big dressage scores, so reliable, they know each other so well. I feel so much for him. Like, to lose one horse is so disappointing, but Gin Tonic, then Diablo, or then off the record, then Diablo. I mean, it's heart-wrenching. It's, I mean, for any of us who are watching this, what it must feel like to be so close to compete at the Olympics and then not. I think for the whole team, it's a really sad, hard day. It's sport, but it's also worth acknowledging how hard and sad that is for them. The only thing I would say about it, and this is absolutely no consolation to Will, so you kind of have to park that piece and move on to the next piece, but as a story, the only thing I would say is what Liz Halliday-Sharp has invested in the sport over the last 15 years, from hosting podcasts way back. Herself and Paul Tapner used to do eventing radio, moving from country to country, based in the UK, based in the US. She's had big disappointments along the way. She's lost a couple of her superstar horses that she was so close to, like in public ways. She's had late disappointments on track at different times. The biggest one, of course, being she was selected with Rosie to go to the last Olympics, and what's the last Worlds or Championship? Worlds or Olympics? I think it was Tokyo from memory. And at the 11th hour, horse gets injured and she doesn't go. So on the flip side of what's happening to Will, the fact that it's a big, proper senior championship and it's Liz Halliday, I think is a nice story. Cooley Nutcracker is a really special horse, but on an emotional level, I think there's something really nice there, that it's Liz who's coming in. And as I say, the zero consolation around the Will Coleman stuff. Put that over on one side. But I think as a secondary story, I'm pleased for her because of how much she's given the sport. That she'll get this moment, having lost it so close previously on a De Niro Z moment.
And it actually hasn't made that much of a difference in team predictions. I think US are still roughly third on the team prediction center, which is quite interesting. And then the final change we had at the horse inspection, poor Leah Siegel being spun out there, gutting. Can you imagine? Bless her.
No.
So no, that's been the changes so far. And it's all happened within about 24 hours. It feels like you've been put through a washing machine.
Yeah, hopefully that's the end of it. Hopefully for my form guides and all the tables and all the social media graphics, that's the end.
And the riders.
Just from it, of course, for them. But also don't forget, like, there's always riders who's just waiting to come in. Like, there's people who can't say it, but they're sitting there being like, we've got 24 hours for someone to go lame, and then I'm in. Like Sydney Elliott's now suddenly there at number 4 for the US team. Okay.
So we have had actually a few people sending questions before our live if they couldn't make it. It's great to see people messaging in as well. So if you've got any more questions, send them on in. But one that has constantly come up, Dee, that everybody is wondering about is, have you actually picked an individual podium? So I'm putting you on the spot because everybody's like, has Dee picked a winner? Because in the last year we've had 5. So now is your chance to tell the world who you think is going to win
No,
Paris.
that's quite unfair of you, because as you know, like one thing that I would like to be able to do is look back on those many podcasts that we've recorded, and somewhere along the way we'll be able to snip out the moment that I said this is the
You're
horse that's going to
preparing
win.
yourself, for any eventuality.
I think a huge amount of I think a lot of our early predictions and early work will be gone. I was very heavily onto the My Bomb train, and very heavily on the gin tonic and the US team gold concept. Sorry, I'm ringing. I don't know how to turn it off here.
That's okay.
So I think that a lot of the early stuff will be gone on that. Here's the worrying thing. Okay, so I'll get into it. I don't think it's Grafalo.
Okay, interesting. You don't think it's?
I don't think it's tough enough for Grafalo.
Fair enough.
To shine.
Yes. Yeah.
I think Grafalo is probably somewhere. I don't think Grafalo can go as low as Chipmunk and London. Michael Young, Fisher Chipmunk, Laura Collett, London 52. I don't think Grafalo can get that low. Again, like, Roz makes me look stupid whenever she wants and she can. And, like, of course, Grafalo remains one of the most exciting horses in the sport. My gut feeling is that it's between Fisher Chipmunk and London 52. Now, Sam, I think, has gone for London 52 on the basis that this horse has set three of the best four scoring records at 5-star level. I think it's the type of horse that's really suited to this competition.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a tough, strong cross country. Not that London couldn't do it, but there is still that little piece of old London got the hold when he won his badminton, and, like, who cares? It's not in any record book. But, like, if you're really trying to be honest about the analysis, you have to say, oh, probably it does matter at some level. I think it's London, but what I would say is I don't believe that Fisher Chipmunk is going to keep arriving in this situation and keep not winning.
Yes, yeah, he's going to have his breakthrough at some point. I think Nicole says that, he can't keep having these near misses.
They both average about 21 in the first phase. Like, you'd be expecting to see a new dressage record set, Olympic dressage record. Currently, no, maybe not. Sorry, it's 19.3. David O'Connor.
Well,
I think, maybe anywhere.
On a very good day.
Yeah, I think it goes. I think you get to about 21.3. Anywhere below 21.3, you get into the top 10.
Okay.
But the top one is 19.3. So you've got 2 marks there, and you're in the top 10. You would expect both of them could touch the top 10. Can they hit 19.3? They both can. Yeah, they both can. Michael tends to outperform his expected dressage score at championships, like whether it's big day delivery, whether it's the halo effect, whether it's the fact that they're going to give him 10s. I think Laura's probably put herself into that category now where she has the halo, and, like, when she comes in, it's so visually good that if they won't get stuck on a 7.5, they'll get stuck probably on 8.5.
Yeah.
Which is helpful. I would put the two of them there somewhere around the 21 mark. I'd put the two of them clear inside the time.
2 rounds of show jumping.
2 rounds of show jumping, both excellent jumpers. London had that kind of wobble, didn't he, in Tokyo in the show jumping? There was like kick or something between fences. Do you remember that?
I think it was he spooked at, like, the water trails because the lights were on. It was late at night, but Laura says she's learned from her mistakes at Tokyo. But yeah, I remember that she did well to kind of regain him and only have the poles that she did because he didn't like that.
What do you think? Do you think it's those two?
Yeah,
Buffalo, I think JL Dublin, I'm not talking about. Nickel, I'm not talking about.
It's hard because Falco would be another one that could probably get down there. Yeah.
Pocket.
JL Dublin, I think, is so hard because my heart is, I'd love to see Tom and JL Dublin do well. Like, that's just a heart moment overhead, to be honest. But I don't know if they can get as low as the other two in the first phase. Like, I don't think he's very, very good.
Dublin.
And he got
He
a 20.
He can't.
No, he got a 20 at Cronenberg, but I just don't think he can touch him there. And if 2 rounds of show jumping might help him, he is a very, very good jumper. But then he had that pole at Kentucky. It's so difficult, but I do think that you're right between Michael and Laura. Who knows who's getting bronze? Flip a coin. It's a challenge.
Caroline Pamuchku and HSH Blake.
That would be mega.
They have a good chance.
Yeah,
they have a good chance. They're very progressive. They're a little bit. They would be the type of profile that will outscore their ratings predicted scores.
Yeah,
young, a lot of time in camp, a lot of focus. Very possible that you see something big from them. Not Laura Collett, Michael Young big.
Yeah,
it'll be big.
Okay, have you got an idea of your podium?
Yeah, Laura, Michael, Caroline.
That's the 3.
Yeah,
I like it. Very good.
Laura, Michael, Caroline.
What a day that would be. That would be mega, wouldn't it?
It could be. It should be. As in, if the two of them win, they win from the front. Like, yeah. So in one sense, it will be mega. In another sense,
it will. Yeah.
Like, there's no drama.
Yeah, yeah, I get you.
And you, like Laura Collett, Michael Young, don't want drama. Like, they want this to be straightforward. Get in there.
Cruise control. Off we go.
I think so.
Yeah.
Like, if you go back to Rio, it was such an amazing day for our fans. Actually, you know what? Rio was good, but there was a bit too much horse falls in terms of where the current climate is. If we got Bertoni,
yes, that was brilliant. Yeah.
If we got Bertoni this weekend, I met Catherine Austin and Sam after the cross country in Bertoni. We sat outside and we did a post cross country review. And I remember just sitting there feeling totally excited about the sport. And the 5 stars have it now still. They just have a different field. You know, they have a different, slightly different field of horses. But the 5 stars have cross-country excitement. Aachen mostly has it. Slightly different field again this year without some of the Olympic people. But what is unique and special about our sport is happens in the middle phase. And that's the only real part where we have all the feelings. You do at the end because there's so much jeopardy because a pole can happen. You should at the start, but you don't, because actually that's where a lot of the wins are going to get decided. Nicola Clark, why not Roz? There's no reason. Graffalo is rightly, when we tried to pick the British team over the course of the year, you know, horses like Banzai de Loire and Vendredi Biat's not going in there. Banzai de Loire is a world champion, Aachen champion, and not in this team. Vendredi Biat's with Kitty has really not done much, if anything, wrong, and delivered and could deliver in this kind of 23 finish on it type score.
Individual silver medalist from Europeans.
Why not Roz? The only person that I think was never in question going to this was Roz. I think everybody said, well, Lordship's Graffalo will go. And then most people said, and probably London 52 will go. The only doubt happened there was when they didn't run, was it Lamulin?
Yeah, they had an overreach. It was, everybody's like, oh, is he going to come back from it? But I think it was just a nick,
But that was the only time I think that happened. So why not Roz? Why am I not so confident that Roz wins this? I don't think she'll make a mistake. I just don't think it's going to be tough enough for her to. They had a rail down, I think, when they won the Europeans.
Yeah, they did.
And their dressage is 24-ish, which will win you pretty much every competition. But particularly if you got a wet badminton, she did the biggest dressage. She did the biggest winning margin ever in a 5-star, because she can go fast, and she can go fast in hard conditions when everyone else is going to go. Like if London 52 wouldn't have won Lordship Graffalo's badminton, those conditions, they would have done the same dressage test, but Graffalo wouldn't make the time and London might not. But it's not those conditions. And by the way, Graffalo is not Colorado blue. Like, it's not like a 29 or a 30 and a wet day and the rest of the field, you go and catch them up. Like, Graffalo can start closer to 25, probably ahead of JL Dublin. Why not Roz? No reason. Most people will probably think Roz. My worry would be, Nicola, I think they start 25. And if they're going to win it, they're going to win it on Monday. Late on Monday is my guess, when and if Fisher Chipmunk or London let you back in by having a rail, and they finish somewhere around 26 and Roz jumps clear for a 25. But I don't think she'll lead. If she's going to win, my prediction is she won't lead until she wins. Does that make sense? She won't. It won't be in her hands until the end. Still might do it, but good feeling. Don't worry, I have loads of these lives to do before now and then. I'll just keep. Don't record them. Don't listen to them back.
We have a lot coming up
this
weekend. We have an awful lot. We've got Eventing Manager. Go and pop your team in Eventing Manager. You can pick 4 riders, so it's not like the Olympic format. You can pick 4 riders, and then the best free scores count as well. So you've got a bit of leeway there. Oh, we've got questions coming in galore now. This is brilliant, actually. Rosby, London. Yeah, she did. That's interesting.
Go on, Eventing Manager.
Sorry, yeah, Eventing Manager. I'm getting so distracted by all the comments now. Yeah, we've got Eventing Manager. And also the WhatsApp groups, Dee. Tell us about these WhatsApp groups, because there's so much content going into them now at the minute, isn't there?
Oh, they are good. How do people find them, though?
I believe that there is a link in our Instagram link tree. I think in the Echo Ratings one. I'm just going to go and check that now.
Yeah, there will be.
Yeah.
But essentially, because we're not big enough, you can't search for us. Like, you can search for some people. So if you go into your WhatsApp, then go to updates over on the far left, at the bottom far left, and then you can, for big accounts like Liverpool, you can just search for them. But because we don't have, I think, 1,000 or something, or maybe more, you can't search for us. So you have to follow us by a link. So you're probably better going to our Instagram or our Facebook or one of those and clicking on that link. And then when you go in, go to the top right and press follow. And Echo Ratings Eventing, you press follow. That's where what used to be Twitter, when we started, I guess people who watch this will remember Echo Ratings, or some people will remember Echo Ratings when it started. Twitter was a great place to follow Echo Ratings back in the day on a really fast moving day, 3 from 3. Tomorrow's going to be the day, Sunday's going to be the day when you're going to have all of the real good, we'll all be sitting together, all the team will be sitting together, and all the information will go into the WhatsApp. We'll do stuff on live, but I think, honestly, that's where all the media people will be, all of the journalists with all the, like, 4 or 5 different TV stations. Georgia Patrick, you can comment WhatsApp on any Instagram post. That is slick, Georgia. And you'll have a link sent to you for our channels. GP.
Georgia is on it. She's so on it. It's brilliant.
Well done, Georgia. Okay, that's super. Manny chat, I guess, that feature. Okay, that's worthwhile, I would say. I don't normally push hard on things. I kind of like let people do whatever they want, but I think that is really a worthwhile thing to do. If you have friends or family who really want to know what's going on, it's tricky. with the 3-from-3 format, and I think you'll get a fairly good flow of information in your WhatsApp. And it doesn't ping you all the time. It's actually set to notifications off, so you just go in and you'll see the thread whenever you want. So it's not too annoying.
Yeah, I quite like that because you're right. You don't get pings all the time. You can just go and absorb the information when you want to, which is
independent reviews from Nikki.
Yeah, the WhatsApp channel is so good. Thank you, Nikki. We much appreciate it because a lot of work goes into it. But we got to go back to work now, Dee. We're
going back. You're so efficient. Like whenever you're on, you're like 30 minutes. We did 30 minutes. Now we're back to work. I haven't picked a team yet. See this, Roz Cantor, Lordship Scraffalo, is actually the most picked person in the whole game of Eventing Manager.
Oh, on Eventing Manager, you need to pick your team. Yes, go do that. I think I've got Roz on my team, to be fair.
There's no prize yet. People are still on our team. They're still after me, chasing me down to do a prize.
We've got quite a few managers already in. We're over 1,000, which is great to see. But yeah, pick your Eventing Manager team.
Here, will I just autofill it just to see what happens?
See what happens, yeah. Go on then.
Autofill.
What have you got?
Jesus.
What's the team looking like?
Manuel Grave.
Yeah.
Grave, I presume. Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Nicolas Touzon with Diablo Mont.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, but...
Yeah.
Could he win here? Probably can't do a good enough dressage.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Marcio Carvalho Jorge, Nicole's friend.
Yeah.
Doctor. Castle Howard Casanova, and I've got Ryuzu Kitajima Sekatinka. My friend Sekatinka, who used to be with Mr. Tim Price. I went very heavy, Rosie, again, probably before your time. I went very heavy 1 year on Sekatinka to win Buccalo. I couldn't stop like I was. There used to be a time, Rosie, again, maybe a bit before your time, but some people remember. I used to do a lot of pieces of camera, and I used to get really invested in certain horses, like in a kind of ludicrous way. I'd be like shouting out the commentary box, "Go on, Sekatinka!" I'd be like following them around and getting my selfie with them, and kind of youngster behavior. Happy Hale-Bob Day, George is saying. Happy Hale-Bob Day was good. Hale-Bob. But Sekatinka 1 year anyway for Buccalo. Jeez, I got so into Sekatinka, and then it won. Oh my God. Some crack. I remember like jumping out of a commentary box to hug Tim Price. Like, again, unnecessary stuff. Be nice to see him do well. He could do well, Tim, this weekend.
He could do well. You needed somebody to go back and clip your bit where you've been raving about him. So that's my job now. And anytime you do something good, I'm here ready to clip it up for you. Badminton, you were incredible. I was there clipping all sorts.
I had a good badminton, I think, didn't I?
Yeah.
Oh my God, sure. I had Emily King.
You had Emily King. You said William was going to do well in the build up to the show jumping. I was clipping all sorts there.
Yeah.
Who else was it badminton that you said was going to do well? I can't remember. You had some other shout that was really good. Oh, you actually said Green Acre Special Cavalier is a dark horse. Why are we not talking about her? She's going to go and ace this. You were on fire at badminton.
I mean, because I knock around with Sam, you know, it makes me feel like the poor cousin. But the truth is, Rosie, like, I actually know a lot.
Oh, you do. You do.
I know a lot now. I've learned. I think we should start putting more respect on these predictions. So this is how it's going to turn out. Colin, Young, Caroline Martin. 1, 2, 3. Brits win the team gold by an absolute million miles. There's nobody even knows where they are. They're in a whole different ball. They're not even in the same competition. They're just playing a different game, the Brits, right now. So 3 scores of 25 or something like that. They'll break 3 finishing scores of 25. Close to the record individual finishing score, which is, Rosie?
Record individual 19 point.
No, dressage. Finishing.
21, I'm going to say 21.2.
Same
higher.
man. Higher. David O'Connor. 23.3, custom made in Sydney. Yeah, someone could break that. Laura, Roz, Michael, they could break it. Very interesting to see JL Dublin in the first phase. Very interesting to see Falco, HSH Blake. Ooh, there's a few big guns. I'm getting excited. You know what's interesting? When you get into something, when you allow yourself the time to sit and go through the possibilities, play eventing manager, pick a team, get invested, listen to the preview podcast or read Eventing Nation's previews, talk about it, pick a favorite. Who do you think is going to win, by the way? Who's your...
I definitely said Brits to win team. I think, who did I say was second? Gosh. I think I said US was second. US took silver. Bronze, I think I said was the French. That was my team predictions. Yeah. Individuals, I'm going to say it's tough. I'm going to say that no, it's not going to be imagine if it was Brits 1, 2, 3 and nearly just said that's very patriotic. Okay, no, I think Michael is going to do it. I think Michael will win. Then I'm going to say Laura, then Roz.
I'm going to clip that and send it to Laura Collett directly.
Please don't do that. I love Laura. Last thing I need is her hating me.
I don't think she'll hate you. I actually think she'll be pleased to take a bit of pressure off her. Super. Okay. There's one more little, if anyone who's stayed on, I have one little treat for you.
Go on.
Tonight, I'll give you a little insight into what's going on at Echo HQ. There is so much work. It's stressing me out so much. Form guide's about to get published, so if anyone would be kind enough to read that, share it.
It is incredible. I've looked at
it's a good piece of work.
Yeah.
So that's going out now. The podcasts will happen. The teams, getting our team set up, all the graphics are going. In the middle of it all, about 12 o'clock the other night, I said to Sam, he's like, Sam and Nicole were on a recording with me, and Sam said I'd asked him to do something around high performance update or something. And he came on and he was talking to Nicole about something, then he kind of went quiet, and I was like, oh, what are you talking about? What was that? And he was kind of like, just no, we'll move on, we'll leave it, we'll move on. I was like, no, what is it? So when he was meant to be writing the high performance thing, I am so stressed. You know what it's like in this company when I'm stressed, because I don't get stressed that much, so it's kind of like,
yeah, it is.
It's awkward. Like, I was like, oh Jesus, what are we doing here? And you know what he had actually done?
What had he done?
He'd written a child's bedtime story called "'Twas the Night Before Paris," which he's going to read into camera tonight for all the children around the world. Who
are you having us, or are you being serious?
Rosie, I'm not having you on. I mean, I wish I was having you on in one sense. I'm not having you on. It's a secret. He actually kept it as a secret because I actually said, look, you can't tell anyone about this. But here, if anyone who's still here, just comment there and tell me if you want to see it.
Honestly, it's like those CBeebies things that you have.
That's it, the CBeebies thing.
Yeah, where they put a new famous person on each week to hear their very therapeutic voice. Sam's got a therapeutic voice. I think he's good at this. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Let me see.
Who knew Sam's career was going to go into bedtime stories?
Well, he sent it to me somewhere funny, like as in like kind of burn after reading like the Mission Impossible. So it's in a group, I'd say, with Nicole. So if I search for Sam and Nicole. Yeah, here it is.
Okay. Do you think you can give us... Oh, he's...
Trek through the outback, asking anyone and everyone.
Look.
'Twas the night before Paris. Chapter 1. A shot at greatness. Once upon a time, there was a very small little girl called Rosalind. She never really grew physically, but she did grow a huge love of horses and she became a fierce competitor. Despite being really rather teeny tiny, the horses she loved most of all were huge, great, enormous, big horses. When she used to ride her great big horses, people would often shout, "Loose horse," because little Ros was so small that she could hardly see over her horse's great big ears. But little Ros was a winner. She won a European Championships, she won a World Championships, and she won the biggest event in the world called badminton.
Okay.
She had a wonderful horse called Lordship's Gruffalo, who, after winning badminton and the Europeans at the age of 11,
Now,
That's incredible.
all I want you to know is that there's a full story. It's called like they're in Adventureland. The prices are in it. Little Mickey's in it.
Wow.
Big, like there's a lot.
And this is out tonight, is it?
Yeah, it's going to be released tonight before Paris. Children's story. Now, I think we actually are going to do a proper children's story. This is more of like when I heard this one, I was like, I don't think you can publish that, pal. And he was like, just publish it. And I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, Little Mickey, Big Willie, don't worry, this will be fine. I was like, I don't know. So it's not really for children, but it's a good story nonetheless. The important thing actually that he hit upon is that sport is about stories. And there is like all these amazing stories happening, coming together tomorrow, like all of the journeys to it. And if you go back to imagining that through a child concept, what we want to try and do, Rosie, the night before a competition, the concept is that if you have a story, it's based on a true story, which is only half told. It's about to unfold.
Yeah.
So to bring people into the story that happens tomorrow, it's the story to that point. And for all children around the world, the goal is that actually, whether it's at the Olympics or badminton or Burley or Aachen or the jumping, how do I get my Rosa to be like, did she win? Did little Ros win? I think there's something special there. I don't know yet how we're going to do it, but we're going to do it. Tonight's version is not quite the Rosa version. Tonight's version is more of it's more aimed at Nicola Clark, Becky Jackson, Heather Chapman for sure. So yeah, I think tonight's version is more in-house, I'd say. It's not really the version that will be a big hit someday, but I think it will be a big hit someday. So that's something to look forward to for anyone following. That'll be released on WhatsApp channels first, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're not yet on that WhatsApp channel, another push to try and get you on there. I think it'll be worth your while.
Wow. I can't believe that. That was
a little surprise. You didn't see that one coming, yeah?
No,
yeah.
I didn't. I didn't at all. I came on here to just chat about the Olympics, and next thing it's Sam's storytelling, and it's brilliant. I cannot wait to hear it. So yeah, God, what a night we have in store before the Olympics. It all kicks off tomorrow. I think it's 8:30 UK time is when the first horse goes down the centre line, and we have all the dressage tomorrow. It's a lot of action to watch, but
yeah, like Bucklow, 65 tests
in one day. Yes, it's going to be a lot of dressage, but I'm ready.
We'll probably go live like this at some point. Like if people want to watch along to some dressage tests with a Facebook Live, and we'll chat through them as they're sitting there and we can talk about what's happening. I think being on your own for a full day watching dressage, even if you're on your own with friends, I think it's a bit hard. So as a collective, it's good to come together. So yeah, we'll definitely do a couple of Facebook Lives, I expect.
It's going to be good.
I'm feeling it now. I'm feeling it more than I was an hour ago.
Good. I'm really glad. I'm glad. So you can go and get back to work and just feel a little bit more calm. Hopefully. Who knows?
Yeah.
We might not be feeling calm tomorrow. Anyway.
Thanks,
Thank
Rosie.
you. Thanks. See you later.